Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. When William Ruto was campaigning for the presidency last year, he made it very clear to Kenyans that by December last year, every Kenyan was to have NHIF. That was William Ruto when he was campaigning for the presidency. But 8 months after being sworn in office, it appears Kenyans are not getting NHIF, but they're actually losing NHIF cover. There are some remarks made by CS Health Nahumicha, remarks I want us to have a look at, for they're going to form the basis of our analysis. Government too broke to remit NHIF money. Health CS Nahumicha. Patients who depend on the national insurer to cater for their hospital bills will be forced to pay cash or stay without treatment after Health Cabinet Secretary CS Susan Nahumicha revealed that the government was too broke to remit money to the National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF. In what is likely to make life difficult for the already overburdened Kenyan, Nahumicha, who was interviewed by a local radio station yesterday, said the situation in the country was so bad that the national insurer was still struggling with the money. Kenya is broke, and that is the fact that no one can deny at all. The cash crisis has even affected NHIF, and that is the whole truth. We are working on all available interventions to see how we will address the situation. One of the best solutions we are thinking about is the introduction of the Finance Bill 2023. That's why our president is so passionate about it, she said. So the health CS, whose docket NHIF falls, is making it very clear that the government is just too broke to remit funds to NHIF. And that means that card will no longer be useful to NHIF contributors. So if you don't have cash, then forget about treatment. I want us to dig deep into those remarks for Kenyans to understand the games being played behind the scenes. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribe, give this video a like. Let me remind you once more that we are still contributing for Nudin from Kajiado. Nudin is to undergo a kidney transplant, and we have been trying to raise funds here to enable Nudin undergo the transplant. And very many of us here are contributing willingly, which is highly being appreciated. In case you want to send a contribution to enable Nudin undergo a kidney transplant, feel free to send your contribution to 0722 735 065. Feel free, ladies and gentlemen. Let's now jump to our analysis. What are the games being played here? Let's dig deep. Yes. The sentiments by the CS Health confirms clearly that Ruto lied to Kenyans. That's the first confirmation. He told Kenyans that by December last year, every Kenyan was to have NHIF. But now, 8 months in power, NHIF is not working. So yes, actually, he lied to Kenyans. Yes, he lied to Kenyans. And then secondly, if you look on how William Ruto is running the government, William Ruto puts a lot of premium on managing politicians at the expense of service delivery to the people, the hustlers. And I'm saying that because it's rumored and widely believed that this government is using money in trying to buy opposition leaders to join the government. And this is a government that is very desperate in trying to make sure it pleases the big boys. And that's why we are seeing unnecessary positions being created to please those who campaigned for William Samoei Ruto. And when I talk about positions being created to please those who campaigned for Ruto, look at the 15 CASs. Very unnecessary positions. Positions that are just going to help the government in increasing its expenditure. A broke government increasing its expenditure through unnecessary positions. That exposes the cluelessness, the greenness in terms of governance by leaders in this government. They are just totally green when it comes to governance. And besides that, they have got all their priorities completely upside down. A confirmation that Ruto is not fit holding that office of the president. He just doesn't understand, doesn't know on how a government is being run. And it's very bad that instead of the government learning something from the failures Kenyans have so far experienced in the 8 months, on a daily basis going forward, the government keeps on making one blunder after blunder. If you look at the individuals still being appointed, being given jobs in this government, they are individuals of questionable characters. People will not help this government deliver on any promise. So it is a fact that as time goes by, instead of the situation becoming better, it's just going to worsen. And now we are seeing the CS saying that the government is too broke to remit even money to NHIF. It's not going to improve. It's going to go to get worse than it is right now. And then something also coming out very clearly. This is a government that has totally failed. If you want to see or to know a government that has failed, this is such example of that government. This is a perfect example of a government that has failed. And if only our elected leaders were doing their jobs properly, as they ought to be doing, William Ruto ought to have been impeached long time ago. He ought to have been impeached long time ago, because it's now clear Ruto will never resign. An African leader would rather die in office than to resign. From what is happening, if Ruto had some conscience, the best thing he ought to have done is to resign. But he's not resigning anytime soon. Elected leaders should now pass a motion of impeachment against him. And it appears they are also not doing their job. They are not doing their jobs. So Kenyans are actually on their own as the government messes up big time. Let me conclude by saying anybody who still thinks always waiting for things to improve, that's somebody who will be in for a very big rude shock. The situation will only worsen. And I'm saying it will worsen because even if Kenyans were to be taxed even 1,000 times, the tax was to be increased 1,000 times, that money will not go into service delivery. It will be pocketed by corrupt government functionaries. Let me stop it there, ladies and gentlemen. Before I go, feel free to channel your contributions to 0722 735 065. Let's help Nudin undergo a kidney transplant. Thank you. God bless you.